24 hours to the official flag-off and commencement of political campaigns for the presidential parties and their candidates. We have the singular honor and pleasure of having the former acting chairman of the All Progressives Congress. He also doubles as the former South-South chairman. That was before his last office. We're so delighted to have one of the principalities of the All Progressives Congress, a think tank of the party, talking about none other than the Cross River State-born Etufam Hilad Eta. It's my pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, your party seems to be first with some backlash. I'll start from the reality. The all-Muslim ticket seems to be one of the serious constraints facing the All Progressives Congress at this time. Do you agree with me?
Certainly not. I cannot agree that it is a debilitating situation for the party. It cannot be so. First of all, let me say that 24 hours to the commencement of the electioneering campaigns, we would like to say it in the language we understand in the Niger Delta,
okay,
which is the pidgin English, jungle don't mature.
Jungle don't mature.
Let me go back to your question.
Exactly.
The single faith ticket has made the rounds in Nigeria. We have had essays written about it. We have had pundits talk about it over and over again. We believe that religion is not the major or one of the major problems besetting the country. And it is now time for us to move away from religion and begin to tackle the issues that are critical to the building of this nation. The issues of education, the issues of industrialization, the issues of electricity, the issues of health, the issues of infrastructure, the issues of those critical things that will enable Nigeria break away from this perennial situation of potentials.
Okay.
It has been known over time that Nigeria is potentially a great country, that Nigeria is potentially a wealthy nation. We need to focus on the issues that will break Nigeria loose, so Nigeria will take its position and its place in the Committee of Nations, that Nigeria will actualize itself and become indeed what God created and meant for Nigeria to be to the black people of the world. These are the issues that must concern us in this critical period of the history of Nigeria. For me, I believe that where we are at today,
okay,
is the birthing of a new Nigeria. And we need the midwife that will assist in the birthing of that new Nigeria in such a manner that time will be abridged. Anyone who understands the issues of development knows that whatever happens, whatever are the obstacles, whatever has kept Nigeria away from actualizing itself, that it is just a matter of time.
Okay, before you continue, Tufam, let me bring it to your understanding, of course, which you know, that your party, the All Progressives Congress, sat the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, in 2015. And why Nigerians voted the APC was because of all of the things you're telling us right now. Education would be free in any case. We'll buy fuel at the most affordable prices. There will be roads. These were the issues that made Nigerians to vote for President Muhammadu Buhari. And to tell us that in another 8 years, what we shall be hearing shall be the same thing, that we are birthing a new Nigeria. It's a serious concern for Nigerians. What else would you be telling the electorate as you begin campaigns? Because if you ask me, these issues should have been nipped in the bud. Nigerians should have been producing their own fuel. We should stop importing fuel from outside this country. And it's a serious concern for your party, the APC. What other narratives would you offer Nigerians?
Let me say that you're not far away from what would concern the average Nigerian, and that the present government has great men and women who would give answers to these questions.
Okay.
It is interesting that we are marketing a man who will add value to whatever President Muhammadu Buhari has done.
Okay.
Now, it is also very interesting that he has done it before. And so it is easy for us, if you must know, and other Nigerians, that it is very easy for us to market our presidential candidate because he has antecedents, he has a history. He has been with us before. A lot of people always refer to his time in Lagos as governor. But I would like to start from the beginning. When he ventured into politics, he became a senator. First of all, he polled the largest number of votes in the entire country to win that election. He became a senator. And the military would not leave the stage for the democratic or the democracy that we have today. Of course, we know about the 1993 election that was won by MKO Abiola is known to all Nigerians. The fallout of that election, one of the leading lights that fought for the realization and the actualization of that election is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He led the people from the front. When he was almost liquidated by the military junta that was in power, he had to leave Nigeria and in exile fought for the enthronement of the democracy that we are enjoying today. So this is an anti-establishment icon, a man who rails against establishment, a man who rails against the system, an oppressive system. He showed it even at the very initial entrance into politics. Of course, we know the patriotism and the nationalistic attitude and perspective that they brought into power in 1999 as the governor of Lagos State. If you look at his cabinet was like a mini Nigeria. Even though he was ruling over a state in the southwest, he had people from the southeast, from the north, who he thought could help him take Lagos away from being a concrete jungle, so to speak, to what Lagos has become today.
Okay, before you progress, let me also say that one of the things your party has been struggling with over the past few months leading to the presidential primary elections that produced former Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu and former governor of Lagos State has been that your party has been struggling with exonerating Bola Ahmed Tinubu from, in quotes, some of the inabilities and failures of the All Progressives Congress. Why is it so?
Well, you see...
Because we all know it's Bola Ahmed Tinubu who who stood by PMB, President Muhammadu Buhari, to be in government today.
Look, first of
all...
So
why is the APC trying to exonerate Tinubu from, in quote, the failures of the present administration?
First of all, it is arguable. It is to be argued whether this present government has failed or not. I'm just saying that I am not in government. I am not a spokesperson of government. But I can speak for Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Well, if you don't know if the government has failed, we just brought you a report, and it's right there on the screen, that the Central Bank of Nigeria has raised the interest rate to 15.5%, as reported by Punch. This is bringing much more poverty to the country. Exactly. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. First of all, let me tell you, I also heard when you were talking about the increment in the rate of inflation.
Yes, the rate of inflation is about 15%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
About 20.5%.
What is happening today in Nigeria is not peculiar to Nigeria.
Okay.
There is a recession in the world. In fact, I will give it to the president that he has been able to manage the situation in such a way that it has not spiraled into the kind of situation that we are finding in Europe. Today, you know that the percentage of the rise in the percentage of inflation in America and Europe is higher than that of Nigeria. I dare you to find out today that the rate of inflation has been more in the United States of America and Europe than it is in Nigeria. There is a global recession, and it's affecting every part of the world. Now, I am not saying that there is we have flown away with absolute success. But I'm saying that, look, there are people who are given to the facts and the figures of what this government has done. I am not one of those people. The only thing that I can do here now, if you want those people, of course I can give you their names. They can come here and defend the government. But I'm saying that whether the government has failed or not failed is arguable.
Okay.
But what is not arguable at all is that in this election, given the kind of candidates that we have today, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is heads and shoulders above all of them in terms of nationalism, in terms of building a cohesive nation, in terms of bringing people together, in terms of competence. He has shown in his intervention, not just as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not just as the governor of Lagos State, even as the man who helped to bring about this democracy that we are enjoying and practicing today. This is the kind of man that we have as the presidential candidate of our party. And we are very proud. We are very proud to speak of his exploits. We are very proud to speak of his achievements and his competence in government. We are very proud because we know that with him, there will be a lot of creativity. With him, there will be a lot of innovation. And we know that all of the major and critical foundations of this country will be innovatively and creatively impacted upon by the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, let me replay some of the visuals, perhaps for the purpose of this discussion. Today, the former vice president and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, talking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. You can see those visuals for yourself. Was received in Enugu State today by stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. And of course, you can actually confirm to the fact that this being like the 6th time the former vice president is running. And for you to talk about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, perhaps as though there are not other candidates like the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, who's come from a distance forth, left the People's Democratic Party to place the Labour Party as perhaps the most competitive opposition party at this time. I'm really afraid that your party, the All Progressives Congress, is in, like Nigerians would say, in a long thing. It is a very long thing. Comparatively, looking at the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, looking at the Labour Party, with what happened in Enugu State today, what
has happened in Enugu State today?
Look at how the reception for the, the PDP candidate. Look, brother, I didn't expect that level of
reception. Let me tell you, what has happened in Enugu has always been happening. It will always happen.
Are you saying the Southeast are not supporting the People's Democratic Party?
I am saying that you do not judge the acceptability of a political contestant by the number of people who turn up in rallies and meetings.
So what standard should we use now?
First of all, the standard you should use is that these people, especially the three of them, have been in power before.
You're talking about the former...
all of them.
Okay.
Peter Obi was governor of Anambra State for 8 years. Atiku Abubakar was vice president of Nigeria for 8 years. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was governor of Lagos State for 8 years.
Okay.
So there is nothing secret about any of them. Their interventions in our lives is out there for public scrutiny. So it is not about the crowds. Let us forget about crowds. Let us forget about people that can be hired to come into a place. Let us, as Nigerians, begin to interrogate their interventions in our lives in the past. That is the only way we will know what they can do in the future. It is not what they say. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. The former vice president was the chairman of the Privatization Council in Nigeria. Let him give account. He was in charge of the economy of Nigeria for 8 years. Let him give account. The former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, was governor of Anambra State for 8 years. He has to give account. He has to give account on education. He has to give account on industrialization. He has to give account on transportation. He has to give account on wealth creation. He has to give account in revenue generation. Because in Nigeria, let me tell you, one of the biggest problems that we have in this country is that at the end of the month, every state, cap in hand, comes to Abuja to receive allocation. Let the likes of Peter Obi tell us how they were able to create wealth in their own state, as so much that whatever you get from the federal government is like jara, to use the Nigerian parlance. That is what has happened in Lagos State. When Jagaban was governor of Lagos State, he made a party 600 million naira as the internally generated revenue of Lagos State. He recreated the systems. And today, as I speak with you, last month, Lagos generated 52 billion naira. And whatever they got from the federal government was jara, to use the Nigerian parlance.
All of us know that Lagos State was the capital of Nigeria.
It does not matter. Calabar was the capital state of Nigeria, capital city of Nigeria, even before Lagos was. Lokoja was once capital of Nigeria. So let us not use those kinds of those things that do not hold water at all. When as in 1999, Lagos was not just dilapidated, it was derelict, and it was a concrete jungle. Everything that you can imagine that happens in the jungle was happening in Lagos. Today, Lagos is the most organized state in Nigeria. It is the most viable state in Nigeria. It has moved from 28th economy of Africa to the 5th economy in Africa. It did not happen by chance. It did not happen because people had some dreams. No. People worked night and day. People envisioned what has happened to Lagos today. And you must give credit to where credit is due. You must give credit to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
But a lot of people are also talking about the fact that Nigeria needs, at this 21st century, also a young, vibrant leadership. We've seen a lot of things take time because a leader
Who is young amongst them?
No, we're asking.
No. Who is young amongst them?
This is not my position to say.
No,
we are saying that Nigerians have come out to say they need younger leaders. And you agree with me that Nigerians have said several times that they need younger leaders. And what happened recently with, we can have those visuals now, the Labour Party candidate have been pointed and has been said by most of its members. You saw what happened. These are the visuals that came from Abuja just about 2 nights ago. They have come out to say we need younger leaders. We need people who are vibrant. We need people who have also level of fitness. And they have looked at all of the people who've been in government in the past, and they have pointed to a direction.
I have told you that these people, all of them have been in government. There is nothing different between, in fact, of all of them, the only anti-establishment icon is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is the one that has always railed against. You remember his fight with Obasanjo with regards to the creation of local government areas. You remember his fight against Abacha on the floor of the Senate. This is a man who rails against. Show me, between Atiku and Obi, show me where they have ever stood against the establishment. It is a scam. It is a scam. And let us not begin to belabor ourselves with the question of age, because none of them.
So, are you saying age is not of any importance?
None of them is a young man. None of them.
Are you also saying fitness is not of importance?
You must give us the health status of all of them, because you see, a 50-year-old man may actually be weaker than a 70-year-old man until we get their health status from neutral doctors. You cannot sit anywhere to tell me this one is stronger than the other one. You do not have the privilege of citing their health status by any chance. So you are not in a position to say who is stronger than the other person.
The All Progressives Congress, the APC, are finding it difficult to actually, like I've told you earlier, to see to it that they can actually rate President Muhammadu Buhari's achievements to the extent that this will form the campaign manifesto of the incoming, perhaps the presidential candidates of your party, the All Progressives Congress. Because most of the things the All Progressives Congress promised Nigerians, they have not been able to actualize any of those things.
Let me tell you something.
They haven't been, because these are the basis for which Nigerians these are the basis for which Nigerians are agitating for another government.
You can sit on this question for as long as you may. The answer is that I speak for Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So are you saying that the APC is not responsible for? Are you saying the APC is not responsible for how Bola Ahmed Tinubu will continue with Buhari's administration? And we're asking, what is Ahmed Tinubu coming to continue? These are the questions we are putting to it.
Look, let me tell you, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor of Lagos State, there were governors before him. In fact, the light rail system that has become a reality today in Lagos did not start from him. It started in the time of Lateef Jakonde. Okay. It was an idea by Lateef Jakonde to have metro line in Lagos. And it was Bolahon Mudashiru who put that project to bed. When Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor of Lagos State, he realized, without being prompted, that Lagos needed a creative transport system. He had to go back and redo and remodeled the metro line to what has become the light rail system in Lagos today. Okay. The blue line is going to be commissioned before the end of this year. Now, not only did he do that, he also went to the road transport and created what they call the BRT today. Okay. He went to the waterways and created an efficient transport system, waterway system in Lagos today.
Okay.
It clearly shows you that whatever he is going to meet on ground today, he is going to double, triple, quadruple whatever has been done in Nigeria today. The reason is like this. He is gifted in recreating revenue. He has shown so when he was working in Deloitte. He showed so when he worked in Mobile. And when he became governor, he showed the same skills. Those skills cannot depart from him. It cannot depart from him today that Nigeria needs him to come and recreate Nigeria in such a way that Nigeria will not remain a spending country, but a country that can generate its revenue outside of oil. Let me tell you, Nigeria faces a danger of having our oil all to ourselves because the world has moved away from the consumption of fossil oil. And in the next few years, we may not have people to even buy our oil. So we need to create an economy outside of oil. And he has shown, not that he is going to show, he has shown that he has the skill set to create revenue. He did this in Lagos. He first did it in Deloitte. He also did it in Mobile, and now went and did the same in Lagos State. What else would you want to use to canvass for votes?
There have been reports that your candidate there of the All Progressives Congress perhaps has been in charge of the revenue in Lagos State. Are you aware of that?
Well, that is in the purview of speculation and gossip, and I don't deal with speculation and gossip.
There has been names and records.
Those who allege must prove. It is not my place to. The time is too short, and the situation is too serious. The issues are too glaring for us to begin to move to the precinct of gossips and speculations. I will not waste my time with those things.
Welcome back to the show. We're going straight to more on the program. We have Ntufam Hilad Eta, former acting chairman of the All Progressives Congress, the APC. And we are taking a look at what is ahead of the electioneering campaigns. 24 hours from now, we shall be starting that as INEC has ordered. You can also be part of the program. The number to call is 0907 177 1985. I repeat, 0907 177 1985. Your party, what are the details in terms of education, economy, agriculture? We might not say all of this together. This will be a series. But can you give us highlights of what your candidate has done in the past in terms of education, in terms of industrialization? We would like to know, because look at the situation in education at the moment. ASU on strike 7 months, but your candidate hasn't said anything about it.
Well, first of all, it is not correct that my candidate has not said anything about it. In fact, at the point, he was to intervene personally. But I know that he's not the president yet. Let me say that one of the gifts, I had told you before, that one of the skill set of our presidential candidate is in revenue generation and revenue creation and wealth creation. He has shown that over and over again. Now, when you do that, when you bring much more resource into the pot, you now have much more money to take to certain very important sectors of the economy, and education is one of such sectors. Like I said a few days ago, we cannot use the old methods that has failed Nigeria in education to solve new problems. Those old methods have failed us. There is nowhere in the world that you continue to do the same thing to get a new result. It is not possible. Now, there are different paradigms in the world to tackle education and the cost of education and the management of education. We need not invent the wheel. We really need to look at these paradigms and see which fits Nigeria best. There is one that we have in America, in the United States of America, where people who seek to go to tertiary institutions also have access to loans, which they use in the payment of tuition and other necessary fees in the university as a loan, which can be repaid back in years after graduation. Now, that is the paradigm. I am not saying that Nigeria should use that, but I'm just saying that that in itself is an acknowledgement that both the students and government cannot alone be the ones supporting education. That even the one that is benefiting from education has a responsibility. Now, there are other paradigms. We need to sit down in a creative and innovative manner, look for a paradigm, look for a system that will best suit Nigeria. Whatever ASU is asking for, I am not saying it is completely right or it is completely wrong, but nobody can say that if ASU is looking to enhance the welfare of its members, that is wrong. Nobody can say so. But nobody can also say that Nigeria as we have it today has enough resources to give to ASU what ASU is demanding. So what we need to do in all of this is, first of all, we need to expand the base of our revenue. Take away our eyes from the oil money, which is rent money, which encourages laziness. We need to go into industrialization, mechanized farming, ICT, artificial intelligence processes. All of these things are the new economy encompasses. We need to look at all of these things and enhance our revenue generating profile.
Okay.
In that manner, we can fund these critical, not just education,
okay,
but health, infrastructure.
Okay. We have a caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. I'm Mr. Samuel calling from Bonny Island in Uganda.
Okay, how is Bonny Island tonight?
Yeah, Bonny Island is cool. It's just raining. But we thank God it's cool.
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
My contribution to equal account. I want to tell our brother that people will do, and they should live with Pakistan or alone. I focus on what they have, what they want to tell us, they want to do for Nigeria. The statistics is not calling everybody to do his own thing. So people should do their own things as well and leave him alone. Nigeria, we are waiting for election competition to decide that is doing a lot. This time Nigerians have woken up to the reality on ground. Someone should call me TStv. TStv is doing good things. So the other person should be voting as well. Let's on the election day. Let's see what Nigerians will do. We are ready. We are ready to call anybody's name, but we have applied for coming 2023 election. Nigerians will decide. That is my contribution. We should stop politics to be new. Let everybody focus on what they want to tell us and let people be alone. People will stop calling anybody's name. They should allow him be and stop calling his name. That is my contribution. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what you're saying in essence is that there are other alternatives to which your candidate, the All Progressives Congress candidate, will be providing education. We have more callers here coming on the show. Hello, good evening and welcome to Nigeria Watch tonight.
Good evening, my brother.
Please speak up your name and where you're calling from.
My name is David. I'm calling from Abu.
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you.
I am very interested in what you are asking that young man on that television. you are so serious asking him what the past previous APC have done to this country with all the hope promises have given to Nigerians and the Nigerian itself. All the promises that have given to Nigeria, no one was fulfilled. And you are continuing asking him that what is the promises are they going to give to Nigeria on this very condition we are now, and what are we expecting from APC government, because we know that the APC have failed and they have failed woefully. And he has been continuing touching the questions we have been asking him. Why don't this man come out openly and tell us that the APC government cannot be able to offer us anything? Because APC government has failed this country and lost woefully. Why don't they give us what they want? If they cannot give us what we want in this country, why don't they just leave this 2023 election and let other parties come up with their strategies? Because I can see that they don't have any strategies for this country.
Okay, thank you. We have so much, you can hear the calls, but let's just be precise about the fact that we have just 2 minutes to call it a wrap because of the time we lost earlier on the program. We'll make this a continuous process for your party, but do you think that the All Progressives Congress, the APC, stand a chance in the 2023 elections to put Bola Tinubu forward and for him to win the election? Before you answer that, let's take this call. Hello, good evening. Please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, your name and where you're calling from. You have 60 seconds, please.
Okay, my name is Simon. I'm calling you from Tunisia.
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you.
I want to appreciate you and the program that is ongoing and your guests in the studio. And are you with me?
Excellently. Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Okay. The question I want to put forth to your guests in the studio is, of all the promises APC government has made before they came into power, now why is it that there are no persons that the current administration how to tackle education in Nigeria? So what is it that these people are coming to tell us at the moment that cannot be fashioned, that cannot be advised to this current administration in order for students to get back to school? That is my question to the guest.
Okay, thank you. You heard that, so you can take that up so we can wrap up the show.
Well, for me, let me go back to your question before I answer my brother. We are going to win the election resoundingly. Okay. It is not about we know where we are strong, and I mean, if you are in politics as long as somebody like me have been, you will know that we are not so strong in the southeast. And you hear that, when you hear names like that, you will know that. But let me even say that even in the southeast, there is an iconic project that this government has done that was on the drawing board for over 30 years. And in a period of 8 years, that project is going to be commissioned at the end of this month, at the end of this year. But you see,
are you talking about the second Niger bridge? Second Niger bridge?
Yes. And so there are so many of these kinds of projects all over the country. I do not have, like I said, if I came here to defend the Buhari administration, I'm very sure I would have armed myself with the projects that has been done across the nation. But I must also agree that things are very difficult. But these things that are difficult, I want those Nigerians who are educated and discerning to find out whether it is peculiar to Nigeria, whether there is a world economic recession. Now, if they can do so, then they can intelligently apportion blames. But if you are just going to, because of politics, or because of ethnic identification with an aspirant, you begin to condemn whatever you do not have information about, then, of course, I cannot help you in that kind of situation. The last one that I want to say is, we are going to, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is going to be sworn in as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on May 29th in a free, fair, transparent elections. And I will not sit here and give you the way that these things will happen. But let us all be calm. Let Nigerians be calm and not take these things too much to heart, because crowds don't mean a thing. Social media does not mean a thing. On the day of elections, there will be millions of boots on the ground working for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu across the length and breadth of this country. He is the only one amongst the leading candidates that have those boots on the ground.
Okay.
Everywhere in the country.
Thank you, Ntufam Hilad Eta. It's my pleasure having you on the program. We'll do this again. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. It's been wonderful hosting the former acting chairman of the All Progressives Congress, talking about Ntufam Hilad Eta. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. And for all our callers, we really appreciate you. Not forgetting the entire staff of the BRTV TStv. Thank you to my production assistant, Abayomi Abomire. And of course, not forgetting the floor manager and cameraman duty, talking about Albert. We appreciate you. And all of you making the rounds and watching the show, calling in, we appreciate you. Let's do this again tomorrow, God willing. My name is Abasi Odu Idiong. You can follow me on the social media space at AfsoBaba. Thank you so much. Let's do this again tomorrow, God willing. Good night. You know I love you.